Welcome everyone. Maté talk time. I'm pretty pumped for today's Maté talk, in that it's been a fun week when it comes to the thinking about what I'm going to bring together here. Quick announcements. First, at the end of the video, we'll talk about the prize that you can win, which is the Flaner Anywhere Around the World Discovery series when it comes to the Ormonde Jayne, a whole new concept coming through. The Melbourne Meet Up that's happening, it's filling up, so if you'd like to join us, I'll tell you more. And then finally, 10 in 10, great success. Something's coming out this weekend, and I'll tell you all about that. But now, boom, this is what we're here about. And that is that I had Alec Baldwin reach out to me. It's crazy. I mean, all week I have been slightly surreal, like in what universe, in what multiverse does this actually happen to Marcelo, where Alec Baldwin sends me a message via Instagram and then rings me over the phone and we have a 20-minute conversation. It's nothing weird, you know, even though my brain was just like pinging inside me, just freaking out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, have a look. This is part of the video, but have a look at last week's and you'll get the whole gist of it. The comedy of last week was that before I started filming, I saw it, spoke to Hannah, I'm like, this is weird, yeah. But I thought, you know, whatever, I'm just gonna roll forward. And in the video, so cocky-like, and I'm like, Alec Baldwin, if it's really you, you know, come on, you know, as if that's ever gonna be a thing. Reach out to me and I'll do a lineup for you, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, he reached out. And part of the conversation that I had over the phone with him was that, what if I did a lineup of your characters that you've played over the years? Would it be cool, or would you be interested if I did something like, he loved it. He loved the concept of it. So today, Maté talks all about Alec Baldwin. I've been watching, rewatching a lot of his work over this past week, and selecting the characters that I really, I mean, there's so many. There is, just Google Alec Baldwin movies and you'll just see it populate. One thing that he does really well personally, apart from being a leading man, he's also great as an ensemble character. And I'll talk about this a little bit more because he brings, I'm fanboying like crazy. So I'm going to give you a disclaimer early on. So you're, just like I do with Alessandro Galtieri, if I ever get to meet him, I'm going to fanboy like crazy, and you know, someone's going to have to be there just to wipe the drool that's coming down. Not because I'm old, but because I'm just too excited. But yeah, I mean, so yeah. Anyway, this week I've been looking at all the different Alec Baldwin characters, and what would they be wearing? What is their scent? I've had so much fun. So today I'm going to share this with you, and we're going to go into the details. Now I need to. So last week I had a few people go, "What the heck, Alec Baldwin?" You know, and others were like, "Yeah, cool," like, like it's my nephew who's also got a name like Alec Baldwin rang me. Think of the person that you admire, that you've loved all your life, whether it be a sports person or a musician or whatever it may be, something that really resonates with you. And this homie rings you, or this individual calls you up and say, yo, I've got a question because I hear that you like this kind of stuff. Can you help me out with this? I mean, your brain would be in, like, what in the world, in what universe does that happen? Well, this actually happened in my universe, which is very exciting. And so today I'm going to tell you about Alec Baldwin. But first, this. This is the first movie that Alec did, and no, so that's wrong, sorry, stop. This is the first breakout movie. So this was a breakout movie for a lot of people, Tim Burton, even his style. We're gonna get super nerdy. I'm gonna, another disclaimer. So my first love was movies, and I've got, since like a young kid, I've got posters. And this is not an exaggeration. As a 16-year-old kid, I was collecting posters already. And I've got original day bills. I should have brought, I'm gonna stop because I gotta show you this. Back, all right, so I gotta show you this because this shows my infatuation when it comes to movies. And again, Alec Baldwin calling me. So these are production stills. And so takes me back to my youth, but as you go to a theater, we had no, I mean, social media, obviously, it's an obvious thing. But to find out about what the movie was on, to find out what the movie was about, you would go to the cinema and you'd look at all these photos, and it was essentially, you know, scenes from the movie. You know, this is Pretty in Pink. This is stuff that I would buy. So I would go to these. I knew all the production house people, and they shouldn't be selling this stuff to me, but because I was a young, bright-eyed kid and wanted to, you know, all things movies, blah blah blah. And so the guy was nice to me, and he would sell me these things. My prized possession is this one here, which is the Chinatown one. And I don't know if it's worth anything these days, but this, I love it because there was, you know, just straight shots, you know. And Jack Nicholson in this movie is something beyond. Watch this movie. If you haven't had a chance to, it's so complex. It's such a, you know, I won't tell you because the ending is phenomenal. You got to watch it. Anyway, so as you can see, massive nerd when it comes to all things movies, etc., etc. And so go back to Alec Baldwin. So and the Beetlejuice. So Beetlejuice was actually a big breakout movie for a lot of people. Like I said, Tim Burton. He's that star that you later see, you know, him elaborating on, definitely comes out in this first movie. Even some of the color palettes and the characters, you know, the stop motion stuff. You're like, oh, this is where it began. You can see it there beginning to emerge. And it was the breakout movie for Alec. And so he does this beautiful balance between being, I guess, an ordinary Joe, Adam, and but at the same time, you can just see this edge of this comedic flair. You know, he holds his part really well. I mean, it's a bit of a sort of a silly-ish movie. Michael Keaton steals, I'm sorry, Alec, but Michael Keaton steals the show. He is just, I mean, he's quotable. He's so crazy intense. The guy, you just watch it again just for Michael Keaton's performance. He's just like out of this world. Now, one thing that I've noticed in all the movies that Alec plays, he's very much a man's man. And so in Australia, we would say he's a blokey bloke. And so so all the fragrances that I've selected are very much blokey bloke fragrances. So this is great for those who don't want too many florals in their fragrances. There's only one that actually accentuates that I've got in the lineup. Most of them are aromatic, woody. They have this masculine edge to it, and in a marketing kind of way. Sorry, I hesitated because Melbourne's been bizarre this morning. It was raining like crazy, and now all of a sudden the sun has decided to come out, which is now going to overblow my shot, so I need to change this. I need to stop again. Sorry, guys. Okay, calm down. I stopped and like, my sort of out of body, this guy is telling me, bro, you need to cool it. You just bring down your vibrations. You're a little bit too hypo. Just cool down. So I'm gonna slow down. I am a little bit excited, as you can tell, and it is all week long I've been excited to bring this episode to life. Anyway, I mentioned previously that all of Alec Baldwin's characters are very manly, and they have that classic masculine edge to it. And so as a result, all the fragrances that I'm bringing forward are all in that aromatic, woody, maybe some citruses in there, florals. Only one has a floral note in there. So if you like those barbershop fougères style of fragrances, this is a really beautiful lineup that I've organized. So Adam Maitland in Beetlejuice is a very salt of the earth kind of guy in that he's always well dressed, always just well presented, and so I thought, but he's not a big city dweller. You know, for him a holiday, he's got 2 weeks off, and what he plans to do is stay at home and work on his model, city thing or town thing. So he's not. He's not for super adventure. So the perfect fragrance for, and I always recommend this as a great entry level when it comes to niche perfumery, and that is anything to do with Creed. I'm going to put aside, and I know some people are like, oh my gosh, pitchforks are coming out and torches are being lit. I get it. ghost perfumer, read the book, yada, yada, all that, no problems at all. Just put that aside for the moment. That's a story for another day. As fragrances, as something that is divine and very unique when it comes to their scent profiles, the Creeds do it really, really well. I also love Creed for its, so when you come in from designers, you're used to that marketing pitch, which is, this is what a masculine fragrance should smell like. I also like the fact that in the US in particular, that a fragrance for a man is called a cologne. And I did some research on this, and this is also going back to marketing in the 1940s and 50s when they were trying to create segments in the marketplace. So sell something to the boys and sell something to the girls. So perfume was regarded as a female fragrance, and a cologne was regarded as a masculine fragrance. So Creed really embraces that cologne aspect of the scent profile. So if you're brand new to niche, you want to explore. I love that when people come in brand new to niche, they want to jump straight to ouds and amouage and all that sort of stuff. Just slow it down. You will get to that. But for now, just jump into the Creeds. The Creeds are divine when it comes to their scent profile, the diversity, and just it just makes you feel happy. You know, I first got into niche Creed. I mean, the collection I have is phenomenal, and yeah, just every one of them makes me happy. So, going back to Adam Maitland from Beetlejuice, he's wearing original Santal. This is just, everything about it is classic masculine. Citrus on the opening, lavender and aromatics in that heart with a little bit of herbals. I think clary sage is in there too, gives it a bit of a sharpness to it. And then it also has this beautiful woody dry down, the sandalwood, the cedar that's in the base. I'm pretty certain there is a vetiver, so a bit of an earthy green touch to the fragrance. Just gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. And yes, super clean. I mean, you wear that, it makes you feel vibrant for the day. You are ready to tackle the world, or in Adam's case, to go upstairs and work on his model village that he's, or the model town that he's creating. One thing about the fragrance is that it doesn't have enormous longevity. So you're getting probably 5 or 6 hours. And again, for the character of Adam, that's perfect for him, because why would you want to be smelling your perfume at 6 o'clock at night? I mean, that's just you're being flamboyant now. So this is a really good office or a day fragrance. This is a day-to-day staple. So for me, and again, I've got a lot of Creeds, I hit this hard. So whenever I see anything that sort of, because I'm a bit of a nerd, I don't like seeing my bottles go down too much, because I like looking nice and full. So yeah, so the fact that it's at this level, it means I've hit this baby hard. So really good fragrance. Original Santal, awesome recommendation, and definitely Adam Maitland is wearing that 100%. Let me, for those who are familiar, I'd love your input. So if you think, no, I disagree, I think Adam should be wearing, I don't know, Original Vetiver, for instance, you put your comments in. If you are familiar with these characters, I'd love you to share more. I mentioned that Michael Keaton's breakout really stole the show in Beetlejuice. So Alec stole the show in this movie here. It's interesting. Look at the ensemble. Look at the amount of actors in this particular film. All big. I mean, these are big names in the industry. Alec's screen time in this 1 hour and 40-minute movie is 7 minutes and 45 seconds. And yet, when you think of Glengarry Glen Ross, you think of Blake. You think of Alec Baldwin's character. He is so, and what I love about this, and this is where I'm just like, I was in awe. I must have watched, and I'm not exaggerating, that scene, I don't know, 20, 30 times, even to the point. So I used to be, as a younger man, I used to be a sales manager of a fairly large team, probably about 15, 20 guys, all boys, all men. This is back in the 80s. So it was a whole different environment. Watched Mad Men, and that was not too far removed from the environment that the sales team were like. You know, very, very masculine. And anyway, and I said to them that, let me give you a sales training 101. And I showed them this video, and I said to them, if you can match, if you can do the things that Blake is saying in this video, then you get to keep your job. It was just a bit of theater, a bit of fun. But this scene was so memorable to my team that years later I bumped into a few of them, and they said, remember that movie? What was that movie called? With a guy, and he's really intense. And so Alec just steals the show in this entire movie in 7 minutes and 45 seconds. But what is he wearing? Actually, before I tell you what he's wearing, he has one scene where he's talking to Jack Lemmon, and he says, which is classic, and I know it's, you know, everybody knows this scene, and I'm not even going to say it like he says it, right? So I'm just going to say it. Put that coffee down. Coffees are for closers. Just watch that. Just watch how he says it. Watch the blood drain out of Jack Lemmon's face. That whole scene, the way the camera moves, it's just spectacular. And he's wearing none other than Apex. He is at the top of the tree. He is the alpha. I mean, in a room full of salespeople who always have to be a little bit cocky, a salesperson has to have a bit of, you know, chutzpah and energy, then he is the king in that castle. And of course, Apex is definitely the fragrance that just projects dominance and masculinity and strength, and it's complex. There's a lot of things happening here. It's equal part never soft. It's equal part sort of, I was going to say round, but I'm trying to think, because it's not abrasive. It's not something that you're like, oh my gosh. But at the same time, it's sharp and it's bold and it's intimidating in its scent profile. I've got it here. So yeah, so it has this sharpness, it has this aggression, but at the same time, there is a smoothness, you know, something even, so let's take something that is exceptionally hard, say a diamond, you know, but this diamond, even though you know is the strongest material in the world, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yet it has these soft edges to it. And it demands, or it commands attention. It has great presence when it comes to its sillage and its presence, its projection, all that. It's in that moderate, so it's not a room filler. I have some amouages that outperform when it comes to its presence. But as people come close to you, Apex is dominant, is strong. When it comes to its longevity, I'm getting comfortably 8-10 hours on skin. It does dry down, very conifer, very wood-like, with a leather touch to it. It's deemed as a leather fragrance. For me, I have leather fragrance, Couillon for instance, which is a lot more overtly leather, whereas here you keep those aromatic woody aspects of a big strong masculine fragrance, but with now that leather element. If you look at the notes, I'm not even going to get into it. There's like a million notes just in this particular fragrance in a true ROJA Dove style. But if you want to be the boss in the room, I haven't seen any women adopt this as their boss fragrance. But boys, if you want something that is, you want to be the biggest guy in the room, then Apex is the one that you would need. And definitely, Blake Glengarry Glen Ross is wearing this fragrance. Tick tock, tuk tuk tuk. Yes, I've covered everything off. All right, so when I was telling the story, again, very surreal, like what in the world, in what universe does this actually happen to Marcelo? I was telling the story with my family, with anybody who, hey man, can I tell you a story? As I'm walking down the street. I was telling the story with my family, and my oldest granddaughter was there. She's about 10. And she's listening to this story, and I played the video, and she saw it, but she didn't recognize the individual. But as I'm telling the story, she says to me, I know the voice. Because she could see that it was, you know, because the response from all the adults were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, you know. And so she's like, I know this voice. And in our family, a favorite movie, now this is across our entire family, so my daughter's children, my son's children, is Boss Baby. And when I said, that's the voice of Boss Baby, she's like, I knew it. I knew his voice. And then she started to imitate certain parts. You know, I can't remember the lines, but she's like, boom, 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 boom. She's saying the lines from Boss Baby in Alec Baldwin's voice. So I have to bring in Alec Baldwin's. What is he, you know, what is Boss Baby wearing? Classically, of course. That's how, in our psyche, that line, put that coffee down, that line is replicated in Boss Baby, but he now says, put that cookie down. Cookies are for closers only. So you get an idea of how, you know, how impactful that performance was that he's now, you know, doing in Boss Baby. Anyway, what's he wearing? He's wearing Terrible Teddy. And why? So there's multiple reasons why he's wearing Terrible Teddy. One, the bottle is divine. All right, so you get this rhinoceros on there. You know, it looks almost something that would be in a kid's room. You know, it has this sort of cute playfulness about it. But the fragrance does denote, it does balance between being accessible and, like, you know, not too over the top like Apex, for instance, but at the same time commanding attention, which is what Boss Baby is about. So he's a baby, but he's dressed in a suit with a mission to save, if you haven't watched the movie, watch it, it's a cool film. Watch it with your kids, you'll love it. I've got it here, and I'll tell you why I'm absolutely convinced it's Boss Baby, that Boss Baby is wearing Terrible Teddy. But first, it's aromatic, it's accessible, it's has a fragrant nature to it, but with a very suede leather in that base. It does have ambroxan, which is a beautiful synthetic amber, musky-like quality to it. Blends beautifully with your skin. If you compare it now to Apex, which is a leather fragrance too, Apex has, again, that sharpness, that, you know, and I love it that it's a conifer cedar, woody-like element to it. It almost does feel like it has an incense quality. You know, there's something a little bit more arresting on top of that leather that's in there. And then Boss Baby, and then Terrible Teddy is just, it's a lot, not creamier, but definitely a lot more supple. And aromatic and fragrant at the same time. Why this one? So my little 2-year-old at the time grandson, we used to spray Boss Baby, keep with the Boss Baby. We used to spray on him Terrible Teddy, and it suited him so well. He was just a sharply dressed little guy. He has the coolest haircut, and he has his own swagger. And we would be spraying Terrible Teddy on him, and it smelled amazing. It became his signature scent. We would, obviously I own it. My son-in-law also owns it. So when he'd come to my house, this little guy, I'd spray Terrible Teddy on him. And sometimes, you know, we'd be out and about, and I'd come up to and smell him, and I'm like, oh, Terrible Teddy. And it became, you know, he'd finish getting ready, and he'd say to his mother, okay, I'm like, perfume me, baby. put on my scent for the day. And it was Terrible Teddy. So if you want a statement maker, but now with a little bit more sort of not so intense, not so in your face, Terrible Teddy is amazing. Long lasting, 10+ hours. This is a great one if, again, as an office scent, as just a quiet, masculine edge style of fragrance, fantastic. I also show this a lot to my nephews, young men, 19 to 25. They adore Terrible Teddy. So a really good entry-level masculine fragrance. If you're brand new to niche, I'd really also recommend to you Terrible Teddy. A great way to start. Boom. All right, moving through. Doing good, doing good. All right, I'm gonna stop actually and back. All right, so The next character, which, and again, a lot of research this week, is none other than Jack Donaghy, 30 Rock. I mean, I almost feel like, other than Blake from Glengarry Glen Ross, the next iconic character that Alec has played is Jack. He's just, and I love the way that he plays this character who really could be, because he's the boss of a massive corporation, he's GE, so he's part of even a greater entity. So he could play him like ruthless and cold and, you know, heartless. And you get a little bit of that. He's a businessman at the end of the day, running a large organization. Yet he has this massive heart and this generosity for what he does, and also the people that he works with. The relationship with Tina Fey's character, Liz Lemon, is just this, you know, sometimes, you know, you watch a movie and you wish that the two people, you know, end up together. In this case here, you don't want them to end up together, but you know that they work best together. There's even one of the episodes, I think it was in season 3 or 4, I think, where it's that classic setup, you know, where the boy runs off to the airport and meets, and it's always been you, and the camera's revolving around them. All right, let me also say, if those who are newbies to 30 Rock, stop everything. I know that you think classic comedy is Seinfeld, and it is, it's a great show. Friends, okay, yep, good show too. 30 Rock. 30 Rock is at the top of the apex on this, the pinnacle. 30 Rock is, just watch it for there is a million characters, and even though they have small parts throughout the whole season or throughout the whole series, they bring such color and vibrance to the entire piece. I mean, the writing, I mean, Tina Fey is the creator of it. I don't know how much writing she did, but whoever are the writers to this show, you just give them every award out there. Just give it to these people, because really, such a clever, well-constructed, the storylines that run through it, the characters are so unique, and yet no one loses their integrity, you know, but they're such wacky characters at the same time. I mean, I could go on and on and on, and just a whole thing just on 30 Rock alone. I'll go one more. So this week, as I was looking at films and different things, my brain's been a buzz, as you can imagine. It was 2 in the morning, I couldn't sleep. I woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna watch some 30 Rock. And I had my noise canceling headphones, true story. And I'm watching it, and I knew that I was going to laugh. And I'm saying to myself before I started, just make sure that you giggle, just go, you know, cute little laughs, you know. But I had the noise canceling. Anyway, the next morning, and this is the other thing, this is a show I've seen already, so like even the setups, I already know where it's coming from. But actually, this is the other thing too. You can see some setups coming up, and you're like, okay, here, you know, the payoff is going to happen here. But then you get sideswiped. There are these really fast lines that just come out of nowhere that just take you by surprise. Now, unfortunately for me, I have this. In Spanish, we say carcajada, which means that you have this bah ha 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 sort of laugh, you know, this explosion that comes out. I'm not proud of it, I have to be honest, because sometimes that catches me, if something catches me by surprise, it's an automatic response, this big sort of loudish laugh. Anyway, noise canceling on, 2 in the morning, watching the show, and I'm doing these, you know, these bursts of anyway, the next morning, Sandra's like, what were you watching last night? She didn't do it in that voice, but she wasn't impressed. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was watching 30 Rock. She's like, you're laughing all night long. So I go back, you gotta watch the show. If you haven't seen it before, start anywhere. Obviously start at the first so you get a sense of all the characters. But from start to finish, what a show. Anyway, Jack Donaghy, what is he wearing? He's rocking it. He's the boss man. He's got 2 fragrances, by the way. This is his day fragrance. So Ormonde Man is what he's wearing as his day fragrance. For those men who love the classic aromatic, spicy, woody fragrance, think one that I always bang on about is Maison Francis Kurkdjian Gentle Fluidity, silver, gorgeous, fantastic. In a race, this beats it. All right, so there's more going on here. Also, the fact that Linda Pilkington, the owner of the business, uses and pioneered this. I'll tell you more about the Discovery series that's going up. Pioneered extracting unique, unusual notes from nature. Hemlock is in there. Now, hemlock is a poisonous material. You don't want to use a lot of that because you'll die. But here, she actually uses the hemlock note at the right levels, and it creates a unique scent profile. So you get that beautiful cedar-like conifer, woody, but now with like, what in the world? What is this magic? I love the way it starts. It has this spicy element to it with that sort of vibrance from a little bit of citrus in there. Things like, I think there's green cardamom and there's a coriander. I think there's even like a sweetness with the pink pepper. It has an inviting opening. On first spray, you're instantly like, whoa, what is this voodoo? You know, this is really, really impressive. Then as it begins to dry down, and I'm going to say it's that hemlock, it creates this wonderful, unique, woody, aromatic scent profile to it. It's a confidence maker. It's something that 100%, Jack Donaghy is wearing it throughout the day as he's moving around. This is a masculine-leaning fragrance. There is a sort of a man edge to it, but it's not over the top. It's not an apex where you're now all of a sudden trying to, via olfactory profile, intimidate whoever it might be in front of you. In fact, you're just, you know, but you're a confident person, but there's no, but at the same time you're approachable, and you can have a conversation with your subordinates, and they know you're the boss, but at the same time you're a good guy and you're part of their, you're here to help them basically. And of course Jack is wearing that. Now, of an evening, if you notice, as the show goes on, he's always got like a Mad Men style, a bit of a whiskey glass in his hand. So of course, as he transitions into night, in a city that never sleeps, because at the end of the day, he is, the whole show is set in Manhattan, he has to be wearing Manhattan. ROJA Dove, another ROJA Dove, of course. Now, Manhattan, to describe this fragrance, for me, would be like a mathematical equation. Me and maths, we're not the best of friends. So this fragrance is super complex. Again, look at the notes. There's a million things going on. But what I get from this fragrance is this wonderful, gentle, spicy, fruit, almost apple-like, boozy opening. Instantly ensnaring. Instantly brings you in, and it gives you a like a low-lit cocktail vibe, hushed voices, music playing in the background, soft lighting, velvety cushions on the seat, and someone close to you, and you're both, quietly talking to one another. That's the opening of the fragrance, and the rest of the fragrance does exactly that. It doesn't all of a sudden come out with some unusual notes or something harder. Everything is this low-lit bar, just this very comfortable space. You see things, but everything is in a half light. So everything is like not quite clear to you, but nothing feels out of place or like you're in an uncomfortable location. I mean, this is my fragrance for today. And I get on the dried end, and honestly, there are some fragrances sometimes you spray and you're like, whoa, opening's a bit rough, and I just need to let it dry down. Or the opening is glorious, and when it dries down, it's like, nah, it's okay, it's not too bad. Okay, start to finish. This is, think of an angelic R sound. I'll put it here. And that just goes on, and it just goes on. Maybe gives you a hallelujah somewhere in the middle, and I'll throw in an awesome in there. Because all the way through, this fragrance is just gorgeous and divine. It's beautiful to wear. It's comforting as a fragrance, as an evening fragrance. Yes, you can wear it as a day fragrance. For me, this is more of a special occasion. Definitely an evening fragrance or going out. It has great longevity. It just feels beautiful on skin. As I mentioned, when it does dry down, it goes into a slight tobacco-y, again, very gentle and soft, tobacco-y, a slight suede leather. I get a suede leather with a vanilla touch, so it's this vanilla that's in there. It does contain, or does retain that cognac booziness from the fragrance. There are slight spices, or the fruit notes. On opening, I'm getting the spices more. As it dries down, the spices sort of pull back, but I am still getting like a apple brandy sort of scent profile. The vanilla is not caramel-like; it's more vanilla in the actual vanilla bean itself. It doesn't go gourmand at all. It's just gorgeous. It's just pure happiness, and it's one I can see Jack of an evening wearing this as a fragrance. This is his like transitioning into night. You can layer these babies like a boss. These two fragrances together work so beautifully. So you can easily wear this, and I know they're not made to layer, but you can be wearing this, and before you're about to step out, well, that's what Jack does. That's what my main man Jack does. All right. Oh, the other thing too. Okay, so here's another. This is now another story connected to this. I love spraying fragrances and on my grandbabies, and they all know it. And they come over to the house. They even say to me, they call me Buelo. Buelo, what's my fragrance for today? And I purposely choose depending on what we're gonna do, if we're gonna watch some TV. I know that you want a nice gourmand, a nice gentle fragrance to support you as you watch your Boss Baby movie. Anyway, we were going out and as a family, and I sprayed on my other, so obviously one of my grandsons was wearing Terrible Teddy, naturally. And my other grandson, I thought, I'm gonna put Manhattan on him. And I sprayed it behind him. So normally the kids know that I spray one on their arm and then 2 or 3 on the back of so one on their neck and the back of their clothes and stuff like that. Anyway, we went out for the day, and both my sister and my son, the father of the young man, came up to me and they're like, "What did you spray on him? What's he wearing?" And my sister, at the point, said that he was so, the smell was so like happy, intoxicating, that she was burying her face in the back of his head and his jumper. What was he wearing? He was wearing Manhattan. That's what he was wearing. So it gives you an idea. It's a beautiful evening fragrance. It's a beautiful going out. And the scent cloud on that baby is gorgeous. Boom. All right. Now, I mentioned earlier that Alec Baldwin has an ability to be a leading man, so he can hold a movie, hold his own there, but he's awesome as an ensemble player. Blake, Glengarry Glen Ross, as I mentioned. But if you look at his filmography, there's a lot of movies where he is a part player. My sister, as I mentioned, I was going to do this lineup. She mentioned 2 movies. One, The Departed, and the other one was Mission Impossible. She loves him in those movies. And yet he's not the main character. He is a part player. But she's like, and even she said in The Departed, another movie with 1 million, strong actors or performers. She's like, I know that DiCaprio, she loves DiCaprio. I know DiCaprio's in there, but I just love Alec Baldwin's character, So it gives you an idea of the energy and presence that he brings and his skill as a performer to bring into a movie. I need a drink. Have a look at this. I've always loved Woody Allen. Woody Allen, and I know that, he's had a very sort of complicated past. Again, that stuff I just put aside. I just look at the art and the creativity behind it. I really enjoyed his movies. I do love the way he tells stories. He is very neurotic, because I watched this movie again with Sandra, and she paused it, or she asked me to pause it. She doesn't know how to manage the remote, and she said, "Is it just me, or is Woody Allen annoying?" And I'm like, no, it's not you, baby. It's Woody Allen. He has this way of, and even watch these movies and you'll see that there is a Woody Allen actor, if he's not in the movie, doing a Woody Allen. I mean, it's wild to see people adopting the Woody Allenness when it comes to the way they deliver their lines. Anyway, in this movie, the character, Alec Baldwin's character, is called John. I think it was John Foy. Anyway, John. And he's an architect that used to live in Rome. Now, let me just say one thing. You have to watch this movie. It got canned. It really, so in 2012, I think it was, I wrote it down, boom, 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 bing, 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 boom. I didn't write it down. Anyway, I think it was 2012. Woody Allen came out with a love song to Paris, Midnight in Paris, awesome film. You need to watch that. There's a really deep message inside it, but as a film, very linear. You can watch it. It's super easy to absorb. Great film, incredible acting, and the set pieces are fantastic. But then he did a love song to Rome. This is now, for me, classic European. So European movies sometimes, don't quite make sense. And that'll be a Maté talk for another day. I'll give you some examples. They have, and in my family, we call it a European sensibility, meaning that, it's not a Hollywood film. Hollywood films, they're more mass market appealing because obviously that's their audience. Whereas here they're just appealing to the Italians, for instance. If they're making a movie, or the French, or the Germans, or whatever it may be. So To Rome with Love has a European sensibility about it. It's a little bit disjointed, a little bit mismatched, but the storylines are deep. There's 4 different sort of set pieces. Watch this movie. It's really, I watched it again with Sandra, as I said, and I've always, from the first time that I saw it, I fell in love with this film. This film it's incredible, even to the point, I'm going to say Woody Allen called it early about social media and influences, those people. In this, he nails it. He just nails it. Anyway, so Alec Baldwin's character, John, and I'm not going to spoil it for you because I'd like you to watch it. He is almost not voyeur, but he's reminiscing. He's almost time traveling. And he now sees it through the eyes of an older, wiser man who's lived, wisdom is brought to you by age. The more things that you experience in life, you go, now I get what's going on. And so he now sees it through that lens. And it's nostalgic, it's heartwarming. His performance, he doesn't steal it away from the 2 characters. And I'm not even the 2 characters. But yet he contributes to the entire scene. His presence is felt in that vignette, in this storyline, but it doesn't become, even though it's a story about him. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you. You've got to watch it. You got to watch this movie. It's an awesome film. And plus, I think the reason why I love it is I love Rome. I love Rome. I think Rome is one of the greatest cities on earth. And I know I've said that about Paris, and I've said that about a million other places, but I think maybe in my past life I was living somewhere in Rome, So there's an energy in Rome that seeps into my skin and I can feel it. So I watched that movie and I saw these Roman locations and watched it again. I mean, he's in Trastevere. I talked about it not long ago. And I can feel myself in Trastevere. So anyway, his character, what's he wearing? Of course he's wearing Acqua di Parma. First created in 1916, the mythology or the marketing behind it is Cary Grant discovered it. It used to be sold in suit stores, so it was a gentleman's fragrance. So tailors would have this as a fragrance that they would also retail. The classic is Colonia, and I also feel like it's almost a staple. Every man should have this. Classic scent notes of Italian citruses with some aromatics and lavender and some herbals, and then the woods in the base of it. It has a unique scent profile because you've seen that play out in a barbershop style a million times, but yet it has its own personality. This is my one so I have Colonia, but the one that I really gravitate to because now I'm a lot deeper into my fragrances is Quercia. It's same classic sort of that signature Acqua di Parma Colonia sort of profile to it, but now it adds an extra bit of oak moss and patchouli. I'd recommend it to you. This is not what John is wearing in the movie. In fact, he's wearing Colonia. That's the fragrance that he bought as a young man. He was there studying 20, 30 years ago, I can't remember the exact date, and he bought himself, again, I'm creating a storyline here, he bought himself the original Colonia, felt very Italian, felt very immersed in his landscape. felt, you know, that fresh masculine Italian man. And so when he returned and reminisced what brought him back, like every olfactory scent that you have that is connected to some kind of core memory, the moment he smelled Colonia, he put it on him, it took him to Trastevere, it took him to his old hood and brought him back memories of an old love. Boom. So that's what he's wearing, and the movie's awesome. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. I think it's an awesome film and really deep. Watch it for its, you know, the concept, but there's a lot of deep meanings in there. Now, last one. Boom. Again, this is something that so I had my choices of films that I love Alec Baldwin in. I did open it up to my friends and family, and this one rated very high. I love this film. And I always love, there are certain films that if you change the tone, as in the lighting and the music and things like that, it could become something else. This could be a very dark indie film about the woes of divorce, you know, and the heaviness of humanity and all that sort of stuff. But in fact, it's a very light rom-com. I mean, the concept is kind of heavy, but the way it's played out and the performance and just everything about it, the banter, the dialogue, it's an awesome film, a lot of fun to watch. I watched it again with Sandra. There are some key scenes here with John Krasinski, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's just funny, he's just brilliant in this movie also. So what is Jake wearing? He's trying to win back, which he now discovers, the love of his life, which is his wife who divorced, and they've now been divorced for 10 years. He's in a marriage that he's not happy with a younger woman. Sure, it was exciting at the start, but now hard work. I love the one scene, I have to say, the one scene where, you know, they have this, they have sex. I'm thinking, how do I say this? But they're at meet at the bar. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to spoil it for you, okay? They meet at the bar, everything works out. They reignite this relationship. You know, they've been married for years. You know, they've got 3 kids and all the rest of it. And they end up having this, you know, this sex in the hotel. And he puts his hand on her and he says, "Home sweet home," or something. It was good to be home again, or something like that. I did my carcajada laugh. Anyway, it was a funny thing. So what's he wearing? This is the only time that I'm now going to introduce some other notes other than classic masculine, all right? And as I've always said, there's no such thing as a masculine fragrance or a feminine fragrance. It's whatever you're comfortable wearing. That's the key, all right? And in this case here, he's wearing Torino 24. Now this is, to give you some more backstory on this, this is the fragrance. This is why Alec Baldwin reached out to me. He had a question about Torino 24 that he wanted to know more about. So it only makes sense that Jake, now more of a modern man, is wearing something that's a little bit different to the classic masculine citrus, aromatic, and woody fragrance. Torino 24, firstly, approved by Alec Baldwin, tick, that it's an awesome fragrance for a man to wear. Perfect for a woman, super easy for a woman, fruity notes, some florals in there, musky on that dried down. But on a man's skin, and I can vouch for this, Alec Baldwin can vouch for this, my sons can vouch for this, both my oldest sons who are now in their late 20s, early 30s, love wearing Torino 24. Even one more. Kevin recently brought this out, smelled it, he's like, oh man, I gotta buy this. So even Kevin approves of Torino 24. It got canned a little bit, all right? So some people say, oh yeah, no. Put that aside. Go out and test it. I did a video on the 4 Torinos, and I actually rated this as the #1 because it's so versatile, it's so accessible to everybody, it's easy to appreciate and enjoy. comfortable. So if you're a husband and wife team, both of you can comfortably wear this. It's a beautiful fragrance in the air. When Sandra wears it, it's divine. It's heavenly in the scent profile. When I'm wearing it, it's distinct and noticeable. It's something that it gives a whole different profile. Early notes of that very juicy mango with that plum note, the sweetness of the fruit is divine. It does go into, so it says lotus flower, but I don't know what lotus flower, I've done some research on it. For me, magnolia. So if you want to sort of picture what could it be like, so it's a very dense, rich, white floral. Nothing is heavy or nothing is dark or anything like that. It's actually white floral. It's a celebration. It's daylight. It's this beautiful sunlight, and it's a happy day. And this fragrance embodies all of that. It does have the beautiful white musk on the base. It can lean a little bit on the feminine side, but as I mentioned, a man can easily wear it. And again, the reason why Jake is wearing this is he's trying to woo back the love of his life. And there's nothing better, and I've said this a million times, boys, that a woman to smell on a man a little bit of florals, you know? It's almost cliche to smell aromatic, woody, and all that sort of stuff. So if you're going to a special event or you're going on something that's going to be like a wedding or anything of that nature, then wearing something like this will make you stand out in a sea of other men who are wearing the classic aromatic, woody, fougere style. This is something now that will bring a new edge to you. Boom. I nerded right up. What do you think? I took that to like 11, you know? Yeah, I just took that to the next level. I'm gonna stop because this is gonna pop again, and I'll be back and we're gonna close this baby down. I'm back. I was just talking to Hannah off camera. She's like, was that half an hour? I'm like, because I said to Hannah before we started, this is going to be 10 hours. I already know. I mean, we're talking about two things that I absolutely adore. One is movies, and I loved this as a kid, and perfumes. I mean, forget about it. It's like that scene in Seinfeld where George tries to get his trifecta. Watch it. It's a funny scene. I'm not going to tell you about it. Allora. Okay, so that's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. That was the review part. Alec Baldwin characters and what those characters are wearing. These are fragrances for you guys to enjoy. So, if, boys, these are great fragrances that you can adopt into your wardrobe, your scent wardrobe. If you enjoyed that, I'd love you to subscribe and support the channel. It's always great to see and comment, because it's always great to see your comments coming through, seeing what you know, what's resonating, what works, what fragrances you are loving. It gives me inspiration to go out and look for other things too. So if you enjoyed that, love you to subscribe and support the channel. Now I'm going to go into the more community side. Stay, please stay, because there are prizes to be won. There are things to be, you know, other things that I want to talk about. But if you were just here for the review part, then it's been awesome to have your company, and thank you for being here. All right, now, first one is this. This is a beautiful Aussie brand, Flaner. I've mentioned them quite a lot. So if you're new to not knowing what I'm talking about here, last week I reviewed this in a little bit more detail. It's Oudh Nur. Dang it. Mohammed, I cooked it again. Oudh Nur. I tried to come out confident out of the gate. It didn't work. So Oudh Nur, which means light. So Nur is an Arabic word. Gorgeous fragrance. For those who are new to oud, so I would say you're now a semi-pro into veteran, but a beautiful cedar-like, a little bit dirty on that oud side, but never fecal or overtly sort of pungent. I always say that word funny too. Anyway, gorgeous fragrance. And now this is a collector's item. Look at this. It's been hand painted. It was actually given to us as a gift during the launch party that they had. Sandra's, this is Sandra's bottle that she's donating to you guys, to the channel. All you got to do to win this anywhere across the world, first subscribe. You need to be a subscriber, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Or be a member. Now, as a subscriber, you'll get a single wedge, one entry into the wheel. If you are a member, you get a double entry. You get a lot more presence on that wheel. And let me just say, just give you a heads up. All the past winning, and it's random, so it's a wheel, spins. I do it in real time so you can see. All the winners have been members. You just have more presence on the wheel. So if you want to become a member, all it is $4 per month. That's 4 Aussie dollars. And at the current rate, it's very cheap across the world. And you can turn it on, turn it off, no problems at all. Turn it on just for the promo and then switch it off if you want to. But as a member, you get double entry in that wedge. And yet, all you got to do is obviously subscribe, be a member, and put this fox, which is the symbol of Flaner, and the word Flaner, boom, like this. All right, and that's all you got to do. That will notify our team. We can see that. We'll start putting your name in the wheel. Last week, great reception on this particular promo, so we've had a lot of entries. So what I'd like you to do is this. If you've already entered, there's no need to enter again, all right? We haven't gone through that last episode, all the different comments. But what we've done is if we have noted your entry, we have sent you a reply. Okay, so if you're not sure, have they sent me a reply? Am I in the wheel or not? Just go to the past episode, have a look at your comment. If there is a reply from us, from Niche Fragrance Collector, then know that you are in the wheel. Okay, there have been a few where we've sent a message saying, "Hey ho, thanks for entering, but I've noticed that you're not a subscriber." Now, what we're seeing from our end, when you look at YouTube Studio, is this red dot. This is what we're looking for. It could be that you've got your settings set to private. You just need to take them off, please, because already this is going to be a big promo. I can see it. This is going to be huge. So we do need to see this red dot, and we do want to validate that you are. We want to be fair. That's the key point. We want to be fair. Everybody who's entering or participating, that if you're a subscriber, then yeah, we want you to be part of it. So if you get a response from us saying, "Hey, we're not seeing this red dot," just write back to us. Let's keep it human, but also let's keep it fair for everybody who is participating. The next thing that we've got coming up is and I announced, or I did a video last week on this incredible fragrance. If you haven't seen this episode yet, Levant, if you don't know, if you're not aware of the brand Ormonde Jayne, watch this video. So this is a fragrance. There are some staples that everybody should have. This is definitely one. No matter who I show, Kevin came in the other day. He watched the video, good man. And he came in just to test it out, and he's like, "Bro, this is gorgeous." It is. It's an absolute winner. The fragrance is spectacular. I am doing a discovery series, and that will be coming out on the 20th of July. Okay, so you can. It's pretty good for the Northern Hemisphere, but look, even Southern Hemisphere guys, the collection in here is gorgeous, even for a winter landscape. Obviously, being that they're atmospheric, fruity, and floral, it will work amazing for a Northern Hemisphere. So 12 fragrances, I'll go into it. There will be 2 episodes that I'll do on that. You can use the code NFC10. You'll get a 10% discount on this particular set here, or anything, if you already know. If you want to get Ormonde Man, let me just give you a heads up. If you want to get Ormonde Man, use NFC10. And the other great thing is that their delivery cost is, I think, very fair. It's a very accessible price point. Sometimes it can, and I've had that from people before. Yes, I don't control that. It's not that I'm not part of the business. These businesses, they put a delivery fee. It is what it is. I can't affect that. In this case here, it's great to see that their delivery cost is pretty fair. That's coming up. So if you want to be a part of that, I'd love you to join me with that discovery series. All right, next one. Really quickly, the Melbourne Meet Up, 3rd of July on Thursday, is filling up. There's a few spots left. So if you are looking to be a part of that, I'd love you to. We're going to be, a chance to meet, plus we'll be in the NOAA showroom. Dr. Liam naturally will be there. Kevin is coming along, so Kevin will be there. Actually, Sandra's coming along too, and so is Emily, so Kevin's wife. So we're going to be there. Join us. It's $20. It is a ticketed event, so once they've hit that cutoff point, they're going to close it. There will be some light refreshments, all that sort of stuff. Now, what they've done, which I'm so grateful for them, the NOAA team have said 5:30 to 6 o'clock arrival. So even if you come in at, I don't know, 2 minutes before 6, fantastic, because at 6 o'clock we will start, or Liam will begin, and we will be talking about the ETAT LIBRE de Orange collection and more background on those. So if you can join us, please do. A lot of parking on the front of the place there, and it would be awesome to catch up with you guys. One thing that's been a huge success is the 10 in 10. And I'm happy to say that this weekend, we're going to release 2 videos, 2 episodes. We've been taking on your comments, and which is other themes that you would like us to do. And one that came in quite a lot was lineup for ladies, so 10 and 10 designed for the girls, and then 10 and 10 for the boys. Admittedly, the boys pegged it, but we don't want to disadvantage I want to create a 10 and 10 for girls. So what we've done is on Saturday, the 10 and 10 for girls will go out, and then on Sunday, the 10 and 10 for the boys will go out. So just watch out for those 2 episodes. They are back to back. The ones for the ladies, these are now fragrances that I love when Sandra wears, and Kevin did what he loves when Emily wears. All right, so these are test and tried. So these are ones that just make us swoon. So we'd like to put that forward. Boys, if you want to buy something special for your girl, then watch that episode and you'll see some really good suggestions there. Boom. The last thing is, you've seen that I've done a collab with Daniel, I gotta give him another title, the charismatic Daniel from Seldomly Often. You saw that I did the episode first on Interlude Man. Last week he released on his channel Rizvelian, and you can see the episode numbers. So I'm going to be doing odds, he'll be doing even. So this is something, the reception's been so positive. We thank you guys for the love on this concept. So we're going to be doing more. We will be filming again probably in another 2 or 3 weeks time. Put forward some suggestions. I mean, I want to go for big hitters. I mean, Daniel loves the more the fragrances that tell complex story. So I've got something in my brain that I'd like to put forward. So give me some suggestions of what you think we could do, and that would be awesome. And the 10-hour Maté talk is now done. Thank you, everyone. That was fun, a lot of fun. Actually, here's the last thing. I asked Alec, could you send me fragrances that are in your collection? And I've asked him, could you do another video? I'm being cheeky. Could you do another video and say hi to me again, and do what is in your lineup back in your house? So hopefully, fingers crossed, my friend Alec Baldwin will send me another video. Bada bing. All right, gang. We'll see you guys all on the next Maté Talk.